All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Let's get started. Wait a second. Where's Instagram? Instagram was right here. Oh, I don't want a story. Cancel that. Delete. And live. And there we go. All right. What is that? Oh my gosh. Hey, everybody. How are you? Instagram is being fascinating for me. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. There's a little icon or something that popped up. So, hey, the conversation this morning is about the power of self-talk. What's the self-talk that you use that you're grateful for? Think about it for just a moment. How grateful is your self-talk? Yes, my hat is from a Canadian, Canada. It's from a dear friend in Canada. So my conversation with you this morning, episode 1757, is about self-talk. Now, a lot of people use self-talk and they say the words and they don't do it. They don't follow up. There's apps, there's programs for that. I'm on the Self-Talk Institute. There's a new version. I say there's a new version. There's a version that I believe performs to the next level, and it's called Brain Talk. And inside of self-talk, there's something that we want to do. The reason that we use repetition is because it takes that for the brain to become rewired. The way the brain can be rewired, I can create a memory inside of you. I can literally make you do something you don't want to do. You say you would never do. It's called leverage. And when we understand when we can put leverage on ourselves, we can rewire our brain. See, that's the power of self-talk. It is to help rewire, allow neuroplasticity. You've heard of that before. Neuroplasticity, the ability for the brain to expand, create new neural networks, and give death to some old patterns. The challenge is that some of us, because of this microwave society that we live in, everything's got to be now. This society that we live in, what happens is that we wind up not believing that it can change, and it's the belief that causes us to stay stuck. So what do? We've got to incorporate more actions. So I've created a program called the NES program, Neuroenergetic Self-Sculpting. And this NES program allows you to operate through neuroplasticity, neuroencoding. How many of you have ever said your self-talk and your body went, I don't think so? And it made you so uncomfortable, right, that you decided not to follow through on it. That's what happens sometimes with self-talk. With brain talk, we upgrade the hardware. And if we upgrade the hardware, there's space and places for the new software called your self-talk. If you've got to run it over and 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 over, that's a software. If we upgrade the hardware, right, it automatically has a place for it when you rewire. So understanding that, I walked people through a conversation this morning, and we do gratitude blessings every day. Now we started that. This is something after 5 years we've started. And I said, write out 10 gratitude blessings about your self-talk. And a lot of people wind up stuck. Gratitude blessings for my self-talk? I'm not sure I understand that. See, this means that there's not a hardware spot. There's not a place in the hardware for it. Think about it. There's not a place in the hardware. So you have to create you got to wedge in a new place in the hardware. You got to literally upgrade the hardware for the software to even show up. So do you want to upgrade your hardware? Do you want to learn how to upgrade your hardware? There's a few things you can do. You can use nutritions, right? Are you taking an omega? Right? 600, 400 DEA, DEHA. Are you taking a GABA? Are you using any neurotransmitters improvement? Congratulations, Katie. That's awesome. There's a very small percentage of people who take, and if you're on my call, you probably do take omegas. Now look at it, is it in the proper ratio? Right? 600, 400 minimums. You'll find maybe it's only 200, 300, which is a great start, but it doesn't really do anything. It's not a therapeutic dose. See, that's the challenge. A lot of us say, I drink water. What happens next when you ask him what? Do you drink 7 glasses? Do you drink 8 glasses? Have you taken your weight divided by 2? That's the number of ounces. Do you drink that many? Oh, I don't drink that many. We need therapeutic doses of success. We've only had intermittent experiences. We haven't even had a full dose of success. How do I know you haven't had a full dose of success? Is because you reached it and then slid back. It wasn't a therapeutic dose of success. And when people get the therapeutic dose of success in their life, in your life, life changes instantly. So how do you get a therapeutic dose of success? I know these sound odd, and I'm glad you're here, because if you were to hear the same thing, then you could expect the same thing. I think I draw to me people who expect more, who expect a lot more. And in order to expect a lot more, you're going to have to hear something different. You're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to feel something different. All of that says, I'm looking for a recipe for disaster. Unless you rewire and upgrade your brain, you're going to wind up with some challenges. So now the question I have for you is how do you upgrade your hardware? You have to use physiology. You have to use focus, language, and meaning. You have to create leverage. You have to open up parts of your body that you aren't aware of before. How many of you have ever gone to the doctor and said, oh my God, my neck hurts? It's just always strained. And they say, well, your shoes are not right. What? Well, what? Yes, your foundation. Or maybe your hips are out of alignment. If you've ever gone to a chiropractor and goes, wow, your hips are way out of alignment. Drop an H in the chat if you've ever gone to a chiropractor and they said, your hips are out of alignment. Well, if your hips are out of alignment, why would that make my shoulders hurt? Well, they're connected. But you see where the pain is. And if you see where the pain is, you don't know where the source is. There's a big difference. A lot of us are trying to fix the pain, and we're not getting to a source. So that's my conversation for you this morning. Can you do gratitude on your self-talk? Most can't. And if you can't, you might need an upgrade in your hardware, because your software is working. It's when you attack the hardware, the actual brain, the physical part of the brain, the neuro part of the brain, the synapse of the brain, the neural connections, the neural communities of your brain. You can activate the amygdala. When you activate the amygdala, you become research says about 25% less smart. That's why when you're having an argument, any of you ever have an argument, and the next day one of your friends was with you in the argument and they go, I can't believe you said that to him. You go, so what did I say to him? They said, you said this. And you go, I didn't say that. And you go, oh, well, heck, you did. Oh, yes, you did. You absolutely said that. You go, I would never say that. It's because you activated your amygdala and your hippocampus and hypothalamus. Your wingmen or women shut down and said, well, we're out of here. And you said things, right? Kind of like when you get drunk, you turn off your amygdala, you turn it down. The only way you can turn down the volume or the strength of your amygdala is through drugs or meditation. And most of us aren't going to do the meditation. We turn to drugs like alcohol or wacky weed or any of that stuff. And all of a sudden we start, man, I love you. Oh God, the truth serum's coming out. That's because the amygdala is turned down. Don't recommend that before you go on a presentation, is to get liquored up. Hey, you should join me in business. You're so awesome, right? We've heard those conversations. So the challenge is, how do we upgrade the hardware so the amygdala can have new programming. The amygdala is the fight or flight. How do we raise the level of the accepted fight or flight response in our body? That needs a hardware upgrade, literally a hardware upgrade. And that's what I do inside of the NEST program, neuroenergetic self-sculpting. As a matter of fact, today at 11 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, I'm doing part 3 of the NEST program, and it's all about self-talk. You go to unlearnme.live, www.unlearnme.live, and 11 today, the 22nd, I think it is, maybe. Oh no, 25th. The 25th, there it is on the board behind me. You can go there and you see, you can join us. You'll see a tab that says NEST program Thursday, self-talk, and you can just join us. Okay. So I love you tons, Instagram. I appreciate you. I'm going to go have a conversation with the folks in the Zoom room here in just a second. And I appreciate you all so very much. Have an amazing hardware upgrade kind of day. I'm your brain training, brain talk mastering misfit, Sean Murphy. I'll see you where? I'll see you at the next event. Till then, bye for now. Hey, VIPers, what you doing? What'd you learn? What'd you like? Tell me your story. What'd you learn? What'd you like? I got to fix the bill on this hat. It's driving me crazy. What's your takeaways? What'd you learn? What'd you like? What'd you learn? What'd you like? There we go. That's better.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I've learned that I haven't had a therapeutic dose of success yet.
Hey.
I mean, in some aspects, in some ways I have, but in the area that I desire, I have not had that yet.
So who would you become if that happened?
What do I give? That's hard. Do I give her a name? It's an upgraded version of me.
Sure, you could give her a name.
I don't know what her name would be.
Okay.
Feeling would be that of just success and yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ponder that just a little bit because that brings up some very uncomfortable feelings.
Cool. And are they uncomfortable to you or uncomfortable to the old story?
Oh, they're uncomfortable to the old story.
So just let the old story know that they're not part of the table read. Just they don't need to be here. That's not what we're not using that. We're going into a dream state, much like in movies where they go and then they go into this other thing, and the old story is not a part of this table read. We don't need it right now.
Yeah, different script.
Mm-hmm. This is all, and all of this is happening inside of us somewhere, inside this universal experience, this universal space, right? So let's go to space. I think that was yesterday. How far away? What's the distance between you and this entity that has a therapeutic dose? Are they in the same country, in the same state, in the same county, the house?
Oh yeah, I think it's one chain link less.
So what's the switch? What's the switch to raise the anchor? You upgraded your ship and you put a automatic anchor raiser motor on. How does it take care of raising it link after link after link without your effort? Just simply holding the button down.
Oh, that's a great question.
I'm here all week.
And I'm very grateful for that.
So those are some things to ask. And are you on a pontoon boat raising the anchor or an ocean-going megaship?
Oh, I'm on a yacht.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on
So
a yacht.
you probably have a Danforth anchor, probably left and right side, and maybe even a stern anchor. But you definitely have two on the front on a yacht. And they're big Danforths that probably weigh 250, 300 pounds. You couldn't pull them up by hand. So, and if you're on your yacht, you're not even worrying about pulling the anchor. You're worrying about where we're going next. When you hear the anchor motor start, it's automatic. You are now in possession of the next destination because you are the captain and they will go where you tell them. That one's got your body fired up.
Oh,
I can feel it. I'm like, oh, I'm sweating over here.
yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Right?
So this is where, getting my archetypes all on the same page, on the same mission. I'm going to say mission.
Yep.
Okay.
Love it.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You are welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's go to Canada and a Toronto hat. Hello, Christina.
Good morning, Sean.
Zaharia.
Yes. I've never heard of Shed Homesteader before you came into my life. And then I listened to the app. And recently I bought this book, The 365 Days of Positive Self-Talk.
Yep.
And it's fascinating how he mentions that sometimes not just even hearing about it is not enough. So what the exercise that you put us through today is so in alignment with what he said. Like these statements that I get to read every morning and every evening. He says you need to immerse yourself more into hearing about it, reading about it, because what you read and what you say to yourself today is going to determine who you're going to become. And yeah, self-talk. I feel so many people have no clue about it and have no clue about the importance of it. And sometimes even just listening to them, like you say, you fell off. You just like, I do it one day after another, and then, oh, I forgot, I get busy, right? So it's just consistent. That's a clue, right? So, yeah.
Absolutely. And the key is that we fall off because we think something took us off. And the reason we fall off is because we were about ready to break and change an identity. And we weren't aware of it. How many of you have ever been close to a very serious incident and didn't know it? Somebody goes, oh my God, that thing almost hit you in the head. What thing? Oh my God, it was just inches from you. Oh my God. Oh, you're so lucky. And you're like, I didn't even know it. That's what happens with our self-talk. Our old story, our brain, not our old story, our brain is so wired to not want to exert any additional energy. It is wired to do this because we have to be prepared for the fight. We got to be prepared for the fight. And once we become prepared for the fight, the brain's like, everything is a threat. Will this kill me, or how fast can I recognize a pattern? That's the only two things I'm going to do all day long. Won't kill me? Okay, I got to put that into a bucket I already have, even if it's brand new. How many of you have tried something and go, ooh, this is my new favorite food? You put it in your favorite food bucket. You took something brand new and just minimized it by saying, boom, that's part of who I am. Instantly, you made it your habitual action. You go to a restaurant, order the same thing. I understand because you like it. But how much do you like pain and suffering? Because you got a good dose of that too. So, yeah, thank you, Christina. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, Dr. Shad Helmster, amazing. Yeah.
And we had Bell's Let's Talk Day yesterday, which is for mental health. And it's really big, especially for, I was just at the Samantha's high school yesterday for a parent meeting. And it's very important for kids. But again, it all goes back to self-talk. But so I was really grateful that every night when I reread them, Samantha's close to me. So for her to hear it while I'm reading it out loud, and she even wanted to read them herself, I hope something is, sinking in at her.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you later.
You are welcome, welcome, welcome. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? Hi, Sophie. Yes.
Hi, Sean. First of all, thank you. So my takeaway is that sometimes you don't feel like doing the gratitude, but that's the most important time to do it. So that's what I'm learning here. But I also have a question. It's a little bit, it's not about the gratitude, but yeah, maybe it is. It's not about the gratitude itself, but I feel like I'm lately really distracted by this thing.
No, really? What is that thing?
You know. And yeah, I'm wondering why is that, and what do you suggest to, because it's toxic, I feel you get a headache.
Well,
and
it's not toxic. It has access to all wonderful things too. Can you play music on there, meditative music?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not toxic. Can you get messages from friends you love?
Yep.
Like me? So it's not toxic. We want an all or nothing kind of world, right? Remember, you've heard me talk about we live in this binary world. It's either wonderful or it's toxic. It's either happy or it's sad. It's either hot or it's cold. What happens if all of a sudden that device is no longer toxic? What changes if it's no longer toxic? Doesn't mean you use it any less. Maybe you do use it less. Maybe you use it for more powerful, positive things. But what happens if the phone is no longer toxic?
Peace of mind.
What's that?
Peace of mind.
Okay, so what happens if you have peace of mind?
Higher vibration.
Okay, and what happens when Sophie steps into a higher vibration?
Attracting more positive things, better things.
And is it okay if Sophie has more better things in her life?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that like a little church mouse.
No.
This phone is toxic. Is it okay to have more in your life? Yeah.
So, what do you suggest?
What do you suggest? Dr. Wayne Dyer says change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. How would you look at it differently?
Can you help me?
Sure. If you want peace, pick up your phone and say, this brings me peace.
Right now?
Yeah, right now. When would you like peace?
Now.
So just pick it up. You don't have to look at any of the screen. Just say, this brings me peace.
This brings me peace.
Now, something else toxic is going to show up. What's the next toxic thing in your life?
What do you mean?
Well, law of opposites, right? First universal law is everything is energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another opposite is the law. It's called the law of polarity. The law of polarity states that if you're 7,000 kilometers from me, I have to be 7,000 kilometers from you. I can't be 7,000 kilometers in 1 millimeter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't be any farther away from you than you are from me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called the law of polarity. So if something is toxic, it can be healing. The polarity of it exists. It has to exist in the same moment, right? You're in Belgium. I'm in Arkansas. We exist in the same moment in time, and yet we're 7,000 kilometers apart. So that's
Okay.
called the law of polarity. Somewhere is the middle between us, somewhere in the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere between where your phone is toxic and it's peaceful, you have to arrive. And that arriving is what we talked about yesterday, the space. How far away is your peace, my love? That's a riggedy.
No, I think you would say as close as your skin.
Excellent. So then between as close as your skin and you is the middle. Because
Okay.
it's so far away, but it's as close as your skin. So somewhere between there and there is the middle. And that's where meditation comes in. And that's where, so do me a favor, take a big breath. Now take a breath without raising your shoulders and let your belly pooch out. You feel your body shift?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just moved in space. We forget to breathe. A lot of the reasons that many of us have stress is that we wind up in hyperventilation and we wind up breathing in just the upper part of our respiratory, and we get a lot of stale oxygen, and our body is trying to operate at its peak potential with only a third of its oxygen. So when we breathe, the lower third of our lungs is 2/3 of our oxygen. And we don't deep breathe. You watch a baby, you watch their belly go in and out. You watch an adult, their belly doesn't go in and out. Their chest goes up and down, up and down, and it's laboring because they don't have enough oxygen in their body. So, all that to say, could peace be in your breath?
Yes.
Then why not breathe more? Say, I breathe in peace.
I breathe in peace.
Even with a-holes all around.
Even with a-holes all around. So that's the solution then?
You tell me, it's your solution. All too often, we're looking for other people to give us guidance. We're actually looking for them to give us our rules. And a lot of times we want them to give us their rules because they're not our rules, and we can fight against them. That's why I'm the biggest pain in the neck to have a conversation with. A lot of people avoid having conversations with me because I can't tell you to do anything. I used to. First year I'm in my business, I told everybody how to grow their business, and it cost me $80,000. I go, okay, that's a good school to not have to go to again. So what changes now? It's in the afternoon for you. You're going to start breathing, and you're going to start paying attention to your words. It's exhausting in the beginning. You ever try to swat a fly?
The what?
A fly? You ever outside at a concert or something, and there's just that one fly? It's a little tiny fly, but boy, it can ruin your whole day, can it?
Yes.
It's a tiny fly. It's not even as big as your fingernail. And it's like, oh my God, it's a fly. It's because you allow distractions in your life. Fall in
Whoa,
love with the fly and it goes away.
really?
Sure. I love that. It can't be there. It can't be the same fly.
Okay.
Mm,
Thank you.
right?
Thank you.
Because you're different. It has to be different. The reason that it showed up is because of an energy or a vibration or something you gave off. How many of us have ever heard people say, oh, dogs can smell fear? They sure can. That's why the dogs bark at you and they come wagging their tail at me. Dude, look at the little baby doggies. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, I love that doggy. So what does peace look like to you? What is it? And use your senses. What does it smell like? What is it? What do you mean? What does peace smell like? Does it smell like a vanilla candle? What does peace smell like? Does it smell like an ocean? Smell like an armpit? What does peace smell like?
Is that a question?
Sure, you don't have to answer it, but it's a question.
Mm.
Where do you find peace? And can you go there in your mind? So, real quick, mountain in snow or beach with sand? Which one?
Beach with sand.
Great. So, there's where you find peace. Waves that are crashing, or the little ones that just slowly in and out.
Crashing.
There's where you find peace. Is it middle of the day, hot and warm? Is it the beginning? Is it sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
So there's where you find peace. Crashing waves, sunset on the beach. You got shoes on or shoes off?
Off.
Toes in the sand or toes on top of the sand?
In.
All of a sudden, now you see her body changing. I'm not even telling her anything. Her whole body is changing because she's going to the space where peace is.
Okay, this really helps. Thank you.
So did I know any of that?
Nope.
Did you know all of that?
Yep.
Allow yourself to stay in your state.
Thank you, Sean. You're the
You're
best.
welcome, my love. Hi, Katie.
Buenos días. how
Buenos
are
días,
you?
mi amor. ¿Cómo está usted?
Muy bien, querido. So my brain needs a huge upgrade. And I'm diving into the Word of God to start that transition.
Yep.
But I'm curious to know in terms of how come it takes for one to write things down and speak it out loud to initiate the transformation in the mind instead of like speaking inside of your mind, if that makes sense.
So here's the scientific reason. Science shows that we listen to authority. Right? If somebody has a commanding voice, if somebody goes, I think you should get off the yard before I shoot you, you're like, did you hear? Right? So we have these tones. Here's the big challenge, Katie. Who has been telling you that you're not good enough? What voice says it the most?
Myself.
So then all of a sudden you come along and you listen to me and you go, Sean said I should say I'm healthy. And you go, I'm healthy. And your old voice goes, the hell you are. So the reason that it's a challenge when we go and we have to do 1,001 different ways when we do it ourselves, this is the DIY method, is because we have to overwrite the code that was us that said we're not enough. It's a math problem, my love. How many times do you think you said, I'm not enough? and a version of some variety of it. You're not enough. You're not tall enough. You're not smart enough. You're not this enough. You're not this. I'm too young to have a child. I'm too old to have a child. All of those things where you beat yourself up. How many times a day do you think you say it?
A lot.
Give me a number.
I would say like over 10.
Over 10.
Mm,
You want to hear science again?
let's go.
We have on average 70,000 thoughts a day.
Mm,
80% of those thoughts are repetitive. So 55,000 thoughts, we say the same thing every day in, day out, day in, day out. You said over 10. Of the 55,000 thoughts, 80% of those are not in our favor. They're negative.
mm,
So over 30,000 thoughts a day are negative, and you thought it was 10. This is the subconscious. This is why the DIY method is so challenging. I'm not going to say it doesn't work. There's some people that have breakthroughs, but the do-it-yourself method and wanting to rewire your brain, it is a freaking battle of your life.
it really is. It really
And
is.
can you imagine? Well, I'm aware of probably 10 times a day I say out loud. Well, then you've got 29,990 times that you're not aware of that you said you're not enough. It's a math problem, my love. And so we need to have an overpowering force. Self-talk is good. So the reason that if I said the words that you wanted, you said to me, Sean, just say these in a tape recorder, you'd have a much better chance because you wouldn't be hearing your voice saying how amazing you are. You'd be hearing somebody else's voice and go, I guess I could believe that. But when you start to use the Nest program and you use tapping and you use chakra clearing and you use mental toughness and you use self-talk and you use mission statements and you use current statements and you use rewiring statements, it's an overwhelming battle that absolutely crushes the old story. That's why I call it brain talk, because it's literally a hardware upgrade.
That makes
You
sense.
pull out could you imagine sometimes computers have two memory sticks. They're 8 gig a piece and you upgrade them and you pull out one memory stick and you upgrade it to 16 gig and you pull out the other memory stick and you upgrade it to 16 gig. And that's what I do in the brain is I pull out this old story, we wash it and we rewire it and you plug it back in and it takes on a new programming because we've done meridian clearing, we've done chakra clearing, we've done mental toughness, we've done addiction to approval. Do you know any moms who have a child about the same age as your child?
Yeah.
How many of those moms might you feel intimidated by because they think their kids are better than yours?
Actually, none. More like I inspire to get to their mindset for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just simply by them being in your proximity, they require you feel you are required to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So when
It's like
you're
a
around,
comparison.
yeah, that's addiction to approval.
Yeah.
Now it sounded great when you said it. I want to get to their mindset. I totally agree. But the only way that that's operating is through an addiction to approval versus I choose that and you can have it now. The mindset they have, you can have it right now. How do you know? Because you can recognize their mindset's different than yours. Just choose that mindset. Well, then I'd have to give up some old story. See what happens when all of a sudden it's like, it's not that easy. Congratulations. You just made it not that easy. That's impressive. Riggedy, raggedy.
I just find it like very interesting. Is like when you read something in your mind, like it's not impactful outwardly compared to when you audibly hear it or when you physically say it.
Yeah. Well, it's because your brain is capable of putting words in between the words as you read it. Literally. You read the Our Father who art in heaven. Between the our and the Father is a universe. Who? Our Father who? Between Father and who is a universe. That gap is a universe of possibilities.
Yeah.
Wayne Dyer actually uses the Our Father in a meditation process called getting into the gap.
Mm.
And it's in that gap
Mm-hmm.
that the world will unlock itself for you. We just normally skip over the gap. We need to fill the gap. That's why we don't like silence in a conversation. How are you? You okay? No, I'm just, yeah, I'm outstanding. We need, oh, don't do that to me. I thought something happened to you.
Thank you.
Silence is where it's all at. Silence is where it's at, baby. Silence is the new sexy.
Yeah, in the social work field, they always say that whenever your clients are silent, just sit in it and be comfortable with it. Like never like just talk out of your ass. Just let, because that's like another way of showing like the person's like marinating in their own space.
And it's probably the first time they've ever been listened to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome, my love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous? Okay. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day right where you're at. And know that you can have more of what you want and less of what you don't as you make the decision. Just say, I choose more of what I want and less of what I don't. Now you have to be aware of what you want and then bring it to you. Collapse the space between you and it and watch how fast it shows up. It wants to keep, right? There's that phrase, everything you are seeking is seeking you. Allow it to have more. All right, everybody, I'm your head brain talking misfit. Wishing you a great Thursday. And last night I thought it was Thursday. I swear to goodness. And I started looking at texts around 10 o'clock. I'm like, what do you mean I missed a call? Oh, today was Wednesday. My brain was just fascinated. So I'm allowed one or two of those a year. So I'll get better. All right, everybody. I love you tons. Have an amazing, fun-filled, fact-filled day filled with the facts that you are freaking amazing. Little alliteration there. I'm your head brain talking misfit. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
I love it, love it, love it. Somebody give me some Costa Rica.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydia's.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us.
Be with us now and forever. And some power, positive energy over and above, filled with joy. Give me some Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss
Boss Lee, we love you, girl. Everybody go have an amazing day. I will see you at 11 o'clock East Standard Time, Central Standard Time, with day 3 of the Nest program. And SelfTalk, same channel. Come back to the dashboard and you'll see the link right there. All right, everybody. See you around 11 if you want. Bye for now.
Wait, that's tomorrow, Sean, or
no, today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow. Thursday and Friday.
Wednesday. Today's Wednesday.
Oh, today's Wednesday. Oh, it is tomorrow.
No, Thursday.
Yeah, today's Thursday. Oh my gosh.
It is today.
You almost had my brain explode. Today's
One of those
Thursday. I
days.
see you at 11.
Love y'all. Till the day.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye.